Hello, everybody. We have all gathered to celebrate the publication of a new book. This is the commentary by Ratnamati, a Panjika on Chandra Gomen's Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa and the Vritti, the commentary on this Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa. This new critical edition of a section, the section 1.3 by three very well-known scholars is a welcome event. These three scholars are Dr. Mahesh Devkar from Pune, Dr. Dragomir Dimitrov from Marburg University in Germany, and the third scholar is Chojun Izaki, professor from Hiroshima University in Japan. This commentary on the Chandra Vritti by Ratnamati is available only in fragments, but it's a welcome thing for all scholars of Sanskrit grammar to see these fragments being taken for publication. I just want to give you a brief review of scholarship on this Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa. The early work on the Chandra school was conducted by a German scholar, Bruno Liebisch. His edition of Chandra Sutras and Chandra Vritti, his work began around 1902, and his remarkable concordance of Panini and Chandra Sutras appeared in 1929. Several works from this grammatical school are known to us. Some have been published, not necessarily in a critical edition, but we have the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa, Sutra and Vritti now. Then we have the Unadi Sutras attributed to Chandra Gomen. There are Paribhasha Sutras attributed to him. There is a Ganapatha. There are Varna Sutras attributed to him. And then there is a Dhatupatha attributed to him. So we can see that Chandra Gomen's Vyākarana is a very extensive work in the tradition of Sanskrit grammar, and it was produced sometime around the 5th century AD. Now, let me just briefly mention some work done in this system. So, the first Indian edition of the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa was published by Professor Kshitish Chandra Chatterjee, and this was published by Deccan College. The first volume came out in 1953, and the second volume was published in 1961. Now, this edition made the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa more easily available to Indian scholars. Now, this is not what you would call a critical edition in the modern sense of the word critical edition, but Professor Chatterjee gives profuse footnotes comparing the Chandra system with Panini, with numerous quotations from Panini Sutras, the Mahabhashya, etc. And therefore, this edition remains extremely useful to this day. There were a few important works published by other Indian scholars. In 1972, Kali Charan Shastri produced a book named Bengal's Contribution to Sanskrit Grammar in the Paninian and Chandra System. Again, it's a very useful work, especially because it contains detailed comparative and historical discussions. The second book that I want to mention is a book by Harshana Mishra. This was published in 1974, and this is a Sanskrit book, Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa Vritteh Samālochanātmakam Adhyayanam. It also contains very useful comparative discussions. Now, among more critical studies, I don't know what term to use, this series of works begins with the 1989 book by Dr. Thomas Oberlies. And this is a German book, Studie zum Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa. This is perhaps the foundational work that has inspired subsequent research in this area. The book truly lives up to its subtitle, Eine kritische Bearbeitung, and he also later in 1996 published an article comparing the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa with other Vyākaranas. Among other scholars who have worked on the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa, let me mention a few. Professor Johannes Bronkhorst, Emily Ossan, Gornell, A.M., Michael Hahn, Willem Rau, and one of my own professors, Professor G.B. Persole. Persole included the Chandra system in his comparative study of the Dhatu Pathas. In 2009, Professor Mahesh Devkar, who is one of the editors of the book that we are publishing today, he published a study showing the connection of Ratnamati's Chandra Panjika to the Pali grammar of Moggallana, which is known as Moggallana Vyākarana, coming from Sri Lanka. And it's a very important demonstration that the Cāndra-Vyākarana system had deep influence on the development of Pali Vyākarana in Sri Lanka. Coming to the most recent work, in 2022, Dr. Ramhari Timalsina published a section of another commentary called Sumati Panjika, a commentary on the Chandra Vritti. And again, this is a publication of one section of this commentary. This is for the first time that a large commentary on the Chandra Vritti was critically edited. This was published by the French Institute in Pondicherry. The introduction to Dr. Timalsina's work is an excellent introduction to Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa, and it lists numerous works on the Chandra school that are found among manuscripts that came from Nepal and Tibet. Now, coming to the book that is now being published today, this is Ratnamati, another Buddhist scholar, Ratnamati's Panjika on the Chandra Vritti, and this is section 1.3. This is the Unadi section of Chandra Gomi's work. Again, this commentary is available in fragments, but it's an extensive commentary. This work is now being edited very meticulously. The introduction to this book by Professor Dimitrov gives a detailed historical account of the discovery of the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa and its editing and publishing. This book, the current book, the Panjika of Ratnamati, I've read some part of the book came to me just a few days ago. It's an amazing work. And it's something like the Kashika Vritti on Panini's grammar. It's a very extensive commentary, and Professor Mahesh Devkar has shown the connection of this commentary also to the Mughallana Vyākaraṇa. So I am extremely happy to see this book, particularly that it came into my own hands a few days ago. And I've been just going through this slowly. It's a very dense work, an amazing work. And I heartily congratulate these eminent editors of this work. I look forward to other sections of this Chandra Panjika being published in the next some years. Now, through their work and the work of other scholars on Chandra system, we know that the Cāndra-Vyākaraṇa was not some system sitting in the corner, but it was a very vibrant and influential school of